let's take a look at spelling change verbs in the present tense. And we're going to focus on verbs that end in CER or CIR. So, for example, conocer and producir. Verbs that end in GUIR. So, for example, the verb distinguir. And lastly, verbs that end in GER or GIR. For example, the verb corregir. Okay? Now, a spelling change occurs for all of these verbs only in the yo form. Okay? In the present tense. So, verbs that end in CER or CIR are going to have a change in the yo form from C to ZC. Verbs that end in GUIR are going to have a change from GU to G. And verbs that end in GER or GIR are going to have a change from G to a J. Okay? Now, I'm going to write the incorrect way of conjugating these verbs in the present tense, okay? Because it happens often. So initially, you will not take into account the spelling change, and you will write conozco, and conozco is not a word. You may write, if we're just following the regular verb structure in the present tense, you may write produco. You may write distinguo, and you may write corrego. Okay, now all of those are wrong, so I'm going to just draw a little X through all of these. Okay, why are they wrong? Well, because they don't take into account the changes that we just discussed. Okay, so now let's write the correct way of spelling these. So there's our spelling change that we take into account. There's our spelling change. So we have conozco and produzco. Okay, let's look at the next one. So distingo, right? So we do not include the U. And lastly, we have corrijo. Okay, so I included the J and not the G. Take a look at these spelling change verbs in the present tense, and remember the spelling change only takes place in the yo form. If you have any questions, let me know. Hasta luego.